Good afternoon, orchestra class. Welcome back for those that have been remote for a while in the classroom, get to actually play the instruments with the rest of the group. And those of us that have been here, hi, you can tell I haven't been here for a while. I'll be back soon, I promise. But in the meantime, we're gonna do these interactive videos where you're gonna pretend like I'm still in the classroom, but there's actually a substitute teacher that's gonna be in control while I'm just teaching the lesson. So with that being said, our substitute should have passed out soon or should start passing out now a string warm-ups daily string warm-ups 1 handout, and that's going to be with you at all times from here on out until the end of the school year. We'll probably get another string warm-ups later on that's going to be a little more advanced. But for now, don't be too scared of what it looks like. Just take it with you. Make sure you put your first and last name at the top of that paper so you don't lose it, and place it in your binder. Make sure that it's in your orchestra binder at all times. That's when we start putting our music for our concerts and other materials that aren't involved in our books. In the meantime, if you don't have a binder, place that daily warm-ups in your book at the front somewhere so you don't lose it. Again, make sure that you label everything with your first and last name on it. While that's being done, go ahead and pause the video until you're ready. Okay, so once those have been passed out, you've put your first and last name on the paper. Let's go ahead and get your instruments ready. Go get your instruments set up, and let's go over the tuning stuff in this next part of the video. Go ahead and pause the video until you're ready. Now, we can't do anything specific with this video one-on-one to help tune your instruments. For the meantime, you should have already been bringing your own tuner to school, preferably the Snark tuners or the Korg TM60 tuners with a little clip-on attachment. If you don't have the little clip-on attachment for your Korg TM60, you may step outside the room with your substitute's permission and monitor to tune your instrument accordingly. Remember that you should already know how to tune your instrument by watching the videos online. Otherwise, if your instrument's out of tune and you don't know how to tune it, then we're gonna have to work with what you got today, and hopefully you can study it online later tonight and watch my other YouTube videos describing how to tune your instrument. Now, while you're tuning your instrument, go ahead and pause the video until you're ready for the next part. Okay, so you should have been tuned by now, and you will have on your music stand in front of you your daily warm-ups or your string warm-ups 1. And those string warm-ups 1, you should have at the very beginning a bunch of pitches that are 4 measures really, with 2 repeat signs, 1 on the beginning and 1 at the end. There's an inside repeat sign and an outside repeat sign, or rather they face both inward as the beginning of the repeat sign and the end repeat sign. So there's going to be these pitches that you play for the very first 4 measures. Let's go over that first. All right, so we have 2 Ds, 2 Es, 2 F sharps, 2 Gs, 2 As, and then 2 Gs, F sharps, and Es, and then we have it repeating again with the same set of pitches. So it's not just that you're playing 2 pitches or 2 of the same pitches twice. Like, for example, D, D, E, E, F sharp, G, G, A, G, G, F sharp, E, E. We're going to be playing just literally 2 beats, and we'll discuss what that means here in a little bit. Now, you'll notice at the very beginning that you already have your key signature. The key signature has 2 sharps. They are F sharp and C sharp. That means we're playing this exercise or this warm-up in the key of D. So luckily, there's no new pitches that you need to learn just yet. However, you have to know that in the key of D major, we have 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. You won't see those accidentals written in front of the note. So already assume that all the Fs are sharp and all the Cs are sharp because of the key signature. Now, let's go on and look at how this is played. This exercise is going to be done with the bow. This is a bowing warm-up or a bowing variation, okay? We're going to start always on the down bow from the very beginning. And we're going to play this with the metronome set at 60 beats per minute at first. Eventually, we're going to get on to more difficult rhythms, like we have at measure A, measure B, and measure C later on in your string warm-ups 1. But for now, we're going to start at the very beginning with those quarter notes only. So let's get your instrument in playing position, and let's get our metronome set at 60 beats per minute so we can begin. Before we can start, remember to review the bow hold first. Remember that the bow hold is with the edge of your fingers, not your fingertips, the first crease of your fingers, and that our thumb goes in between the stick and the bow hair, pointed up into the stick with your middle finger lined up right across from it. So you should have this shape here with the stick in between. And the first crease of all your fingers, except for your pinky violins, violas, everybody else, all 4 fingers should be along the bow itself. Maybe that the palm of your hand does not touch and your thumb is still bent. You do not straighten out your thumb. All right, there's the cello bass bow hold. Here's the violin viola bow hold with the pinky tip on the stick. Okay, let's get our metronome started. And let's get to playing position. We're going to start this exercise on the open D string. So the open D string and going up into the open A string. Here we go. Remember that we start on a down bow and each note is détaché. So we're going to go in different directions for each note. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop there. Now let's try it again with a repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. One, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. And we'll stop there. Okay? Go ahead and relax in your chair. And let's go on to the next part of this warm-up. That was a really easy beginning to the warm-up. Essentially, what we're going to do now is change the variation that we played those pitches in that order. Look at box A. In box A, we now have what are called eighth notes. Those eighth note symbols, that's hard to say fast. Those eighth note symbols, all right, each little note head with the stem connected with the beam to other notes are going to get half a beat. You notice that within that one measure of A, of letter A, that you have twice as many as you would have just quarter notes. These are eighth notes. One of those symbols, or one note head with that stem attached to the rest of those beams, gets an eighth of that measure's time. So they're twice as fast as quarter notes, which would only get a quarter of the measure. So in this case, you're going to be playing with the metronome twice as fast those pitches in that order. Here's what I mean. When you want to make one beat of D or one beat of a quarter note, it takes 2 eighth notes. So you'll notice that on measure A, you will have 4 Ds, 4 eighth notes. That's 2 quarter notes of D. So we've doubled it up. It beats 1 and beats 2 are now not just 1 quarter note and 1 quarter note. You have 2 eighth notes and 2 eighth notes that are played without resting or pausing. Same thing happens on beat 3 and beat 4. Rather than playing 2 quarter note E's, we now have 4 eighth note E's. All 4, of course, play twice as fast. And we continue with that same pattern of eighth notes for the rest of those 4 measures, not B, C, D, and so forth. Each letter measure is an example of the bowing variation that you'll use for the whole 4 measures all four measures of the very beginning part where those repeat signs are. So here's what letter A bowing variation would sound like if you played it with the repeat four measures at the very top. Now what I'm going to add to this is the sound of the eighth note clicking. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So now you'll be able to hear what the eighth note's supposed to sound like. And we're just going to move with the bow while I'm playing this. So I'm going to demonstrate it for you. And I want you to get to air bow position, elbow to your side, bow stick pointed vertically up beside you on your right side, not in front of your body, and just move up and down with me. Here's letter A, bowing variation. Same set of pitches, same amount, just a different rhythm. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Repeat. Good. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Repeat. Good. Now let's take a look at letter B. Measure B is going to be a combination of eighth notes and the quarter notes. In this case, the first two beats of the measure, beats 1 and 2, are now going to be eighth notes, just like we had on measure A. The only difference is now beats 3 and 4 are back to quarter notes. So instead of having constant eighth notes going back and forth, which was kind of easy for measure A, now we're going to go and do both of them, starting with eighth notes first on the open D, and then beats 3 and 4 will be 2 quarter note E's. Here's what that will look like. Go ahead and get your air bow on to your side and play with me. Not on the instrument, but air bow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. One and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You notice that my bowing was faster on the eighth notes than it was on the quarter notes. When you're playing eighth notes, of course, you're going to have to bow back and forth a lot faster with using a little bit of bow, compared to quarter notes, which use a lot more bow, and the bowing movement be slower so you can make the sound for the entire full beat, whereas eighth notes only get half of the beat. So now we're going to play the first 4 measures as written, like the very beginning, the quarter note rhythm. And then we're going to repeat it, but this time, rather than repeat the quarter note rhythm, we're going to use the bowing variation from letter A. Then when we repeat the same 4 measures again, we're going to do the bowing variation for letter B. And here's what that looks like. Again, I want you to air bow with me for now, and then we're going to try it together. Let's start from the very beginning. Quarter notes first. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. A. B. Then hold the D at the end to end the exercise or the warm-up. So now with that being done, let's try it together. We're going to play letters A and B, starting with first the quarter notes at the beginning. Ready? Let's get set. Remember to start from the bottom of your bow, not from the tip. 1, 2, 3, 4. From the tip. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's pretty much how the String Warmups 1 works. Try this a couple of times with me on the video, so just rewind it and go back to this last part. Otherwise, we can continue on to letters C and D next time. Hope you enjoyed this little interaction virtual lesson. Make sure you always guys are practicing with your conscience in line with what you want to do, always focusing on the goal at hand. It doesn't matter how many hours or minutes you practice, it matters how much care you take into your practicing. Remember, always stay focused and always get better. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed it, and bye-bye.